Hey guys, Buff and Game back today bringing out a video, and today we are covering the Season 3 roadmap for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Warzone 2.0, and DMZ. So this is actually a really good roadmap. From what I'm seeing here, we have some really good weapons, which we'll get into. So I'm going to run through this fairly quickly. I will link the blog post down below. I'll get into some detail with some things and leave out specifics with others, where it may be less interesting. But if you're interested in hearing the full story details, you can read the blog post linked down below in the description, the official blog post over at callofduty.com. So that link will be below. Jumping into it, I'm just going to show the Battle Pass here on screen quickly. A high-level overview, and then we'll kind of run through the blog post quickly as I talk through some of the points. So for Warzone 2, what's coming here in Season 3, we have Plunder in season, we have Ranked Warzone in season, and then we have Massive Resurgence, which we'll get into. It's going to be a larger player count on Al Mazrah. We have DMZ changes. There's going to be new missions, Workbench, Active Duty Soldier slots, Barter, and new backpack system in the season. For Battle Royale gameplay features, this is where I think hopefully a lot of the Battle Royale community will be a little happier, and maybe this will bring me back. I'm just very, very obsessed with DMZ at this point, but I know the guys that are playing actual Warzone 2 Battle Royale are pretty disappointed lately, so these seem to be some features hopefully that the community is going to be highly receptive of. We have redeployed drones, we have the tempered plate carriers coming back, UAV towers making their way in from DMZ. We also have new Gulag map, deployable buy stations, and perk packages here in Warzone 2 Battle Royale within the season. For weapons and operators, we have Black Cell Premium Battle Pass, so we'll get into this. This is going to be a separate paid Battle Pass on top of the base Battle Pass, which will be coming. We have 3 new weapons, actually 4, which we'll get into here when we go through the weapons. I'm pumped for the weapons, specifically the Battle Rifle is pretty exciting. New operators, we have Alejandro and Valeria. We have new events like Trophy Hunt and Camo Challenge events. New bundles, World Series of Warzone, and then for the base core multiplayer, we have what's being touted as, I believe, 6 new maps, something like that. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there's some gunfight maps as well. Gunfight is coming back here in Season 3. Cranked game mode, new raid episode, new co-op mission, which we haven't seen in a while, and infected ground war here in the season. So that's the Battle Pass high-level run-through. Jumping through the blog post here, and we'll go through some of the details on this. So within here, the blog post, some things that are detailed is the overview here. So it's going to have get your duo gunfight partner, because gunfight is back here. It seems like this is going to be at the launch of Season 3, so I know Crash Games out there, FPS Crash Games, will be very excited about this, my co-host on the Scope podcast. So Crash is going to be pumped about this. That's his game mode. I always enjoyed it in Modern Warfare 2019. Pretty crazy it took till Season 3 to get this mode back, but here we are. So gunfight's making its way back. We have 3 6v6 maps and 2 battle maps, which is ground war, that'll be coming in, as well as 2 new Spec Ops missions will be coming in here, as well as a raid episode. So that'll be pretty cool. We haven't seen Spec Ops updated in a while, or the co-op game mode. So gunfight returning with new maps, which is good. There's going to be a different map rotation for the gunfight mode, so those 2v2 gunfight modes. There's also a black site training ground, which looks like it'll be a serve as a new gulag for Al Mazrah, as well as a gunfight mode, which will be pretty interesting. There's going to be different playlists associated with that mode as well. So gunfight making a return. 3 new core maps. So 2 battle maps. So 3 new core maps being the 2v2. 3 new core maps here. So we have Paleo's Lighthouse. This is a core map 6v6. This will be available at launch. This is a semi-nighttime, dusky type map. This looks like it's kind of right out of Campaign. So this should be a good one. At least some of the locations from Campaign is what it looks like. Ships in the night sky. So the description of the map, definitely it's nighttime, but there's moonlight. So I don't think this is going to be a specific NVG map. Then we have Black Gold. So this is going to be a 6v6 map that requires night vision or flashlights. So based on the Rohan Oil section of Al Mazrah, this core map will be the first iteration of night operations for Modern Warfare 2. Operators will have to use their night vision goggles. Finally, I'm glad to see this coming back. Equip thermal optics or use available light sources to take the advantage and secure victory. So again, this is a mode. The night map modes are a mode that I loved in Realism for Modern Warfare 2019. I'm shocked it's taken this long to get these back, because that was probably one of my favorite parts of Modern Warfare 2019. It sounds like it's going to be more versatile here with using nods, flashlights. We actually have flashlights this time, so if you're using flashlights and people are using nods, it should theoretically blind their view pretty well. So there's going to be a lot of different ways to approach this type of gameplay when we get into it, hopefully. So it definitely has a lot of promise, I would say. Rohan Oil, so this is right out of Al Mazrah. This is going to be a ground war map. They're calling them battle maps now. And then we also have Satik Cave Complex battle map. So this, again, right out of the section of Al Mazrah. This is where, essentially, the Afghan section from the original Modern Warfare 2 is located on Al Mazrah. So that'll be a ground war map as well. Then we have Alboran Hatchery. So this is a core map in season. This is the All Guilded Up 2.0 map from the campaign. So this is going to be a pretty interesting map. I enjoyed it for what it was in the campaign. So we'll have to see which aspects of that they bring back. But that was a cool section of the campaign, especially on that mission. Different game modes. We have like Cranked, Face Off, Ground War, Infected are coming here in the season. So that should be pretty cool. A lot of those coming probably mid-season, most likely, especially the Infected one. Coming mid-season are new core maps, special ops missions, and Raid Episode 3. So we'll get that along the lines somewhere down the road here, probably at the mid-season update. And it sounds like a lot of these, they give a description here for the new mission for the Spec Ops mode. We'll include an exciting episode of the Raid as well, but the Spec Ops mode, you're going to be on what sounds like they're detailing Spec Ops mode content. Update mid-season format of the new mission for the Raid episode. New missions will see operators take on Los Alamos cartels somewhere in Al Mazrah. So that'll be a nice change up. That should be pretty fun to play as well. For the Warzone 2 overview, getting into the Warzone 2 section for these updates. So they're saying massive resurgence. This is going to be on Al Mazrah. This is going to be a 150-player resurgent playlist on Al Mazrah. So that should be actually pretty cool. I'm going to jump into that. Larger player counts. And it's resurgence mode, so the circles will hopefully start smaller and go faster. We saw a lot of these on OG Verdansk, so this mode, I think, will be a lot of fun. Prepare for Plunder. Plunder will be coming back if you guys enjoy Plunder. That's a good way to at least level up weapons. Personally, I never really had any enjoyment playing Plunder, but I know there's a lot of people out there that do like it specifically for leveling up weapons, but definitely run into some really weird players in Plunder that are trying way too hard. So I'll be avoiding that. Just don't really find it that much fun. Host of additional features in season. So redeploy drones. Coming to Al Mazrah, we have protect yourself with the tempered plate carriers. This again from the Caldera Warzone. I think they added this in. You get perk packages in season. UAV towers in Battle Royale. So those are making their way in from DMZ. How those work are there's different towers across the map that you go in and activate, and it gives you a small UAV radius of around 150 meters, I believe it is, for the radius of the UAV tower. So those are definitely useful for specific locations on the map. It'll identify AI as well as players. You also have DMZ reaches a new level. So there's a lot here with DMZ, which we'll get into here in a second, as well as ranked play arriving here in the mid-season. So you have the massive resurgence. You have Plunder, new Gulag coming here with Warzone 2 in Season 3. You also have returning features for Battle Royale, like we discussed with the redeploy balloons, all of that stuff coming back. So that should be good and hopefully satisfy, I think, a lot of the upset Battle Royale fans. Gulag entry kits, a lot of things here coming within the season, as well as an overhaul to the barter system, workbench, and more here in DMZ. So for the DMZ players, that would be myself. There's a lot here coming with DMZ Season 3, and this sounds very promising. Again, DMZ is still in a beta, so this sounds like it's really starting to reach what would be identified as an end state, or at least they're going towards that now. We've kind of seen DMZ has a lot to offer. It's very fun, but now they're adding more layers to it, so there's more depth to it now, which we'll get into here. First off being the barter system. So for the barter system, one of the biggest additions since the launch of DMZ is the barter system, a way to award operators who stock up on items and can reach a buy station and swap them for other valuables. In general, the trader may not have what you want, but they will always have what you need. So you can essentially, by stashing a lot of different items in your backpack, some of the stuff that we see on the map like IFAX, AFAX, some things that bandages that may not be useful or really worth a lot of money, combining those, you can barter and trade in for things. So They also mentioned there's no peer-to-peer trading, so I can't trade with a friend or another player through the system, but you can still feel free to swap things by just dropping them in match, etc., and then going to a barter station. So that should be pretty cool to see how that works. We also have workbenches coming in here. So another major addition to DMZ is the workbench, which you can be found near buy stations and allow you to modify your contraband weapons mid-game. So this is going to cost you money to switch out attachments, but if you're in a situation where you maybe have a build that isn't working, or you're about to go from long range to close range, or vice versa, you can pay money to change up the attachments on that weapon. So that should be pretty interesting, I think. Maybe you'll go in unsuppressed, need to be suppressed, something like that. There could be a lot of uses to that. I'm curious to see how it works and what situations that may call for to use that. Right now, I can't really think off the top of my head, but I think it will definitely be useful, especially with folks that may only have one weapon slot. If you need to turn maybe a base AR from close range into long range or something like that, based on the missions you're doing or engagement that you're about to get in if there's a team pushing you, something like that. So that should be pretty good. Active duty operator slots. So this is something that's kind of going towards almost like a stash. If you look at, I don't really want to reference Tarkov as an example because it is quite different, but what you're going to have here is 3 active duty soldiers, and they will all have their own unique on-soldier items. So you can't stash plate carriers or backpacks, but what you can do is you have 3 unique soldiers to start, and each one of those soldiers will have on-soldier items. So if I go in with all 3 of these operators across different games and make sure I have 3 plate carriers on, large backpacks, self-reses, kill streaks on all of these operators, if I die, say I'm going into Building 21 on the weekends, if I die in Building 21, that's okay. I can come out and use my other operator who has 3 plates, large backpacks, self-reses to go right back into Building 21 instead of having to have it run into unfortunate circumstances where maybe you get killed by hackers or just really bad, unlucky situations. Perhaps you're dominating an entire team and then the AI kills you from behind while the AI doesn't shoot at the other team, which seems to happen all the time. That's okay because you technically really didn't lose anything but your contraband in that case. You still can go back in with another active duty soldier with your 3 plates and your backpacks. So in Season 3, that should be pretty cool. We also have a new faction. So it's called a Redacted faction here, and it's unknown as to what this faction is, but it says a Special Operations faction. Not sure the actual name of it because it's still showing as Redacted. There'll be more about this faction as we get closer to launch. So new and remixed missions, contracts. Infinity Ward is introducing a new set of factions, missions in the upcoming season, as well as contracts. So it doesn't sound like missions or anything like that are going to be reset like they were with Season 2. However, they will be adding new factions, new missions on top of things. So if you've already completed all your faction missions, there's going to be a new faction and probably some additional missions within the existing factions that you've already done. There's also going to be 2 new bosses here in DMZ, so operators should prepare to face new threats across various exclusion zones. There are not 1 but 2 bosses. Intel suggests Redacted, so we don't know where that 2 bosses. One is Redacted, suggests Deep Underground on Amazra, and Redacted. So we don't know really where the first one is unless I'm misreading this, but one is definitely going to be Underground on Amazra, and hopefully another one is on maybe Building 21 or some other area on one of these exclusion zones. So I'm excited for that. The bosses are always a lot of fun to fight, especially on Amazra. I think the Chemist is pretty cool, but they do kind of need another boss on Amazra, so that at least we know there's going to be 1 boss on Amazra. Not sure where the other one's going to be. Most likely Ashika or hopefully Building 21 alongside Velikan. Then we have World Series of Warzone. That'll be coming along down the line somewhere there. We also have ranked play coming to Warzone, so I know a lot of people are going to be excited for that with ranked play. I believe that'll be coming in mid-season. Other than that, we have Alejandro and Valeria coming as operators. Alejandro looks like he has his campaign skin from the first couple missions we see him in, so I'm excited for that. You also have new weapons here. Black Cell Battle Pass, which alongside the existing Battle Pass and Recruit a Friend system. So Alejandro's coming. His campaign skin is there, which looks really good. Valeria is also coming. She has a similar skin kind of to one of her campaign skins. That should be pretty cool to see. And it looks like the third operator coming mid-season. They give a little bit of a tease. It's definitely going to be Soap by the looks of what we're seeing here. So I'm excited for that. Soap finally coming in with the campaign gameplay. or the campaign outfits with his nods there from that first mission we see him and Ghost in. Now moving on to the new weapons. So the FJX Imperium, or the Chitech M200 Intervention, as it's known as, from the original Modern Warfare 2. This is going to be firing 408 Chitech. This is going to be a big, beefy sniper rifle. I'm pumped for this one. You can build it probably close quarters and long range engagements. Also, the base barrel on this thing looks, as we discussed in the other day's video, it looks pretty short, but you can obviously kit it out for longer range also. So that should be pretty cool. The other one here is a surprise. Everyone was talking about the Spear coming, the M7 from Sig Sauer that won the NGSW R and AR programs. But we got a nice, pleasant surprise here. And personally, for me, this is a big, big win. I prefer this weapon much more than the Sig Spear that won the NGSW program. That's going to be the Cronin Squall, or the General Dynamics bid for the NGSW R and AR bids, that being the RM277. This is a really, really unique and cool design here from General Dynamics, and I believe Texas Weapons Future Systems. So there was a collaboration between the two, but this came in second in the NGSW AR and R program to the Sig Sauer MCX Spear. However, this, alongside the other NGSW bids, fires a 6.8 by 51 millimeter round. However, this does fire proprietary polymer cased ammunition, which is very cool, as well as the fact that it is a bullpup rifle. So bullpup rifles, I've always been a big fan of these. The only reason I think this thing didn't win the bid, I think performance-wise, a lot of those details weren't released, but they had to perform very similar, if not the same, to the other entries in the finals there, with especially next to Sig Sauer's Spear. But this is a very different system than what the United States is used to. This is a bullpup system, whereas the Spear basically has the same platform design as what we're used to with the M4, the weapon that we're replacing. So ergonomics and everything like that are the same. I think that's why this one lost, especially because this is taking polymer cased ammo versus traditional type ammo from Sig Sauer. So that's, again, kind of another sinking cost for that. But this is what my preferred weapon. This was on my wish list originally for Modern Warfare. This is a weapon that actually just came to Battlefield 2042 last season as well. So the RM277, the General Dynamics bid for the NGSW program, which came in second in that program for the R and AR bids, is coming to the game. This is going to be a lot of fun to use. It's a battle rifle, and here in game, firing a 6.8 by 51 millimeter round. It'll have the ability for semi-auto and full auto. So this thing's going to be a beefy boy, and I am pumped for this one. I think if they added the Spear, it would have just been a cool addition, but also nothing really unique on top of that, separate it from the M13 at that point, besides the fact that it's just a bit of a larger weapon with a larger round. This one here with the RM277, we have a very unique design and platform with this. So this is going to be more fun, in my opinion. I think this was a smarter decision to add this over the Spear. Next up, we have additional attachments. So for two more weapons coming down the road, on the Battle Pass, we can see one being a Tech 9, it looks like, which fits with the season here of Season 3, the theme. So expect two new sidearms within Season 3 Reloaded, both fully automatic with drastically different roles. A highly customizable machine pistol, that'll be the Tech 9, with a fast rate of fire, and a high caliber pistol modified for full auto to blast enemies back when they get too close for comfort. So I'm not really sure what that's going to be off the top of my head as I'm reading this for the first time right now. So I don't know what that is. Trying to think, and I really don't have any idea. So let me know down below. I'm sure I'll think of it after this, after I have a minute to think about it. But definitely the Tech 9 is that machine pistol, and then we're going to have a high caliber pistol modified for full auto. So sounds like it'll be something more along the lines of a PDW type weapon, but they'll both be in the pistol category. So that'll be cool. Then we have one for the collections. The Trophy Hunt event kicks off with Season 3. So that's going to be a limited time Trophy Hunt event. That should be pretty cool as well. New Battle Pass. So we have the base Battle Pass as well as what looks like a paid Battle Pass called Black Cell. So with Black Cell, you're going to be paying an additional premium price with this. Think of this whatever you guys want. Depending on what the offering is when we see the layout, most likely I'll probably get this so you guys can see what it all is. You're paying an extra price here of $29.99, but you're getting a lot with this. But again, it's going to depend what's different on this versus the base Battle Pass. you're still getting the base Battle Pass, but in addition, you can also purchase this. It's going to come for that $30 price payment. It's going to have access to full Season 3 Battle Pass and 20 tier skips for the base Battle Pass. If you're on PlayStation, it's going to be 25 tier skips, so good for me. 1,100 COD points instantly rewarded, up to 1,400 COD points awarded by completing the Black Cell Battle Pass. You have a Black Cell operator attire. You're going to have a pro-tuned weapon blueprint, vehicle skins, all of that. Exclusive Black Cell sector within the Battle Pass. You're also going to have immediate unlocking and adjacent Battle Pass sectors for the Black Cell sector, whatever that means, and then additional Black Cell only Battle Pass content. So basically, you're just paying for unique content is really what it boils down to. What that content is, I would need to see it to see if it justifies purchasing it or not before I make my decision. If there's something there that I like, I'll get it just to see how it is and show it off to you guys. But you're still getting the base Battle Pass for free with this. But if you want to pay the extra money, you get the Black Cell Battle Pass on top of that with additional tier skips and things like that. So kind of like a premium type Battle Pass for everybody out there. We also have Recruit a Friend, so not really important. I'm not going to cover that. If you're interested, go ahead and check it out down below. You get some unique things by bringing in a newcomer to Warzone 2. New Prestige systems. You have patch notes will be available the week of, so that'll be coming out early next week. The update is going to be next Wednesday. I believe that is going to be on the 12th is when Season 3 goes live. You're going to have a bunch of different things, out-of-combat reports, behind-the-scenes talks, things like that here going into the start of Season 2. That'll be starting next week. So overall, that's the Battle Pass. Kind of breezed through some of those items and focusing more so on others. If you're more interested in things that I didn't cover, again, the link is down below for that. But the most exciting thing for me on this Battle Pass, 110%, is the Cronin Squall, or the new battle rifle, the RM277, firing that 6.8 by 51mm cartridge. This is the NGSW bid by General Dynamics. So I always thought this one looked the best. Having a bullpup system allows you to have a longer barrel. It just is a very beautiful weapon. So I'm pumped for this weapon. I think the Intervention is also a good addition. And it's also good to see some campaign assets coming in. We're seeing a lot of maps here from campaign, which is good. We're seeing operators come back from campaign. And for the first time here since the game launched, we have a season with an actual storyline that fits in with the story from the actual game, instead of Season 1 and 2 just going out there and doing whatever those were. They were not in line with the game at all. It felt like we were playing two completely separate things. So I'm pumped for this. Let me know your thoughts down below. What are you most looking forward to here for Call of Duty Modern Warfare Season 3? Launches next Wednesday on the 12th. Let me know your thoughts down below. Till next time, this is Buffner Gaming, who's extremely stoked about the RM277 NGSW weapon or the Cronin Squall. Till next time, Buffner Gaming, out.